just wanted to tell about the most insane shit I ever seen with my eyes closed on LSD 2 days ago. And it was long after we got home. Uh, and with my eyes open, I wasn't really tripping that hard. But we turned off the lights, and I started dreaming, like for real, but with my conscious mind. I was like fully having a dream. Um, and what I saw was like earlier in the day, I was like floating down a tunnel, like a really like prismatic and like it was like a round oval tunnel, and it was like going like up and down, and it was like really big around, and it was like just like going down a tunnel but not very fast. And finally I came upon this like giant squid with like 50 tentacles, like facing in every direction. Just like if there was a squid, like symmetrically there'd be like 50 tentacles coming off it, with like eyeballs above each tentacle, like around in a circle, like really crazy looking eyeballs, like, and then like smaller ones above those, like going around in a circle, and on the top of the squid. And this squid was giant, and I was like coming up to it, and on the top of it was like a giant eyeball, and I was coming at it like this so I could see it from a side view, and I was like going around it and like going above it like this, and I stopped above it, and I was like way above it, and I was coming down towards it, and it was just like getting like closer and closer and closer, and I was like going like into its top eyeball, and there was like in the very center of its retina, I could see, start to see like this world that looked like similar to Earth, except for there was like these giant ass machines. Um, oh man, the machines were so freaking big, and they were pulling like these like saw blade looking things, like giant saw blades, and they were like, I could only see like the top half of the saw blades, and they were like sawing into like this vegetation looking shit. It looked quite similar to Earth. It looked like trees and bushes, but I knew it wasn't Earth because the saw blades like would leave these like huge like cracks in the vegetation, and it would just like the cracks would just get wider and wider, and the stuff that came out of these cracks, and it wasn't just one saw blade, it was like rows and rows of saw blades, like hundreds of them. I was like really really far away, like when I was coming into the eyeball, like, and I was like getting closer and closer, like once I got into the retina I could see like really really high up, really far down, I could see like these huge machines that were like probably like 100 stories tall, and the saw blades were like way behind the machines, being like drugged behind them, like probably 200 stories wide, because they were like as tall as the machines, like just the top half, and they'd cut these giant slits that would get wider and wider, and these demonic looking creatures, they look like the creatures that you'd see in like even crazier than the creatures that you'd see in like Grim Dawn or like Diablo, like the monsters, just like crazy looking monsters, like all different kinds of them were like crawling out of these cracks, and like bugs, like roaches out of like floor, like a really wide floorboard in a house or something, just like out of each one of these cracks. um and like so many bugs just like were like coming out of these cracks that like just in like 20 seconds they were like practically covering like the whole ground, and like the bugs just like started to rise like higher and higher, like I couldn't even see the vegetation after like 45 seconds or so. and they started like raising up higher and higher and higher, and like I was coming closer and closer like to the bugs. Like I couldn't control, like pretty much the whole time I was just like moving like closer and closer, like like down the tunnel and then to the eyeball squid and then into its eye. Like I was pretty much just like floating like uncontrollably the same speed. And I wasn't scared. I was just like, I wish I would have been recording it while it was happening. I didn't really see it coming. I didn't really expect that to happen because it was so much later. It was like 10 hours after I'd taken it that day. And it was like the visuals of were like I was peaking still. Really, really weird. It was on the sheets on the sheets. It's the acid with the sheets that like have this symbol on them on each of the sheets, like taking up two hits. Like the hand symbol isn't just on one square, it's on two. That kind of acid, like I've never, like I was pretty much done tripping with my eyes open, and I was like ready to go to bed, and like I started like immediately seeing like really strong closed eye visuals. So it wore off pretty quick, like open eye visuals, but closed eyes. So anyways, I was coming to these bugs, uh, like closer and closer, and they were like completely aware of me. It was like they were making, it's like they were making like a mound, like in my direction, like something you'd see ants do, like when ants like build bridges across shit. These bugs were like making like I don't, yeah, a bridge like towards me, and they like bridged towards me, and like I could see like these like giant teeth like in my face, and like there was like they were like going like this uh like into it seemed like I could their teeth were like going like into my head because like I could see their teeth like going like into my face. It was like holy shit, it was like a 3D. I still wasn't scared because I knew that I wasn't dreaming, like, or I knew that I wasn't, like, in a dream you're not aware that your conscious mind isn't there to remind you when you're dreaming for real, like asleep. Your conscious mind isn't there to remind you that it's just a bunch of bullshit, and it's like there's nothing to worry about. In a dream, that would have been really scary, and I probably wouldn't have remembered it as well. I was remembering this with my mind in this dimension. It's like the dream mind is like hard to remember with, but if you're like in the rare situations when you're able to remember a dream with your fully conscious mind, um, it was like a lucid dream. Like I'm not really able to lucid dream unless I get lucky when I take acid, which this is the first time this has ever happened. Usually when I just take acid, I see like prismatic colors and like geometric patterns and like bubble dipped like rainbow paint, like cybersonic mainframe. This wasn't that. This was like a full blown dream. And anyways, these bugs were like they were like once they made the spire like up to where my face was, I was just like going like through these bugs that were like all like showing me their teeth and their like their claws and they looked so like frightening looking. They looked like how could I be seeing this? Like there's no way my imagination, like is this really my imagination? Like is this like really how like beautiful and like insane looking dreams are? Like the detail on like everything there. It made me wonder um if psychedelics really add like some severely intricate detail to dreams, or if dreams are always like that, and you just can't remember your dreams just rust before you wake up. That's what I wonder. I didn't have any rust. The steel was polished and clean on my memory, and I will never forget this because the memories are very precious to me, and they're the easy to remember memories, the ones of this dimension, the ones your conscious mind uh, adds to its files, not your dream, not your conscious mind trying to remember your rusty ass dream files that it can't polish off. Um, but there was a lot more to it, so I guess I don't remember everything like perfectly. That part I remember like perfectly though, because that was the climax of it for sure. Um, but it went on and on. I remember at one point I kept seeing like cops pulling up, like an SUV, like police car, like pulling up, just one, like to place, and I was like some place that I'd never lived or been, and then like I'd like I wouldn't see him get out or do anything. I would just it would just like vanish or mutate, and then I'd be somewhere else, and then the cop would pull up. Oh, and another thing, the vegetation. Some of the vegetation was like really, really spiky and like beautiful red. It was like it looked like the type of vegetation that would like cut you wide open, like razortation, vegetation, veg of my ass. It was like razortation. It was like thorn bushes times 100, and it was just like, damn, I'm glad those fucking plants, those thornitations don't exist here on Earth. They looked like they were like they'd get so sharp that like you'd cut yourself. Like if you were to touch the tip, that you'd cut yourself before you even like saw the tip. And yeah, the way the machines looked, they looked like they looked like a bunch of campers. Like they had different compartments. Like if you were to stack like a whole bunch of campers and have like um like razor blade, like 45-degree angle, uh like out of each wall, and then there was like rounded pieces. It just looked like something we would build out of metal, but the colors on it was like the colors is what was like really striking about it. The shapes were just like stuff that we'd build out of metal, and they were like really, really long and really, really tall. It would take it like more power by like times a million to move one of these things than to like move a train. And they were like just like moving like through the vegetation, like just plowing it out of the way pretty much, so that behind it was just like so the saw blades could just like cut like a clean crack, and the cracks were just kept opening up too until they like touched each other. Like the cracks just like kept going, and like I couldn't see how far down the cracks went. It just looked like the not very far, because the bugs were just like waiting. I couldn't see what was driving the machines. Like they were just like the metal was covering everything, but the squid with eyeballs. Like after I got through the tunnel, I was flying through the tunnel for a long time, and it after it was done, it was just like, fuck. I just wanted to show that to everybody. I just wanted to watch it again, like on a computer screen or something. Maybe in the future we'll be able to do that. Of course, if that does happen, I'll just be pissed off when that technology does come out that it didn't come out earlier, because I will know that I've missed some of the most insane shit I've ever seen. And not ever be able to see it again. So yeah, I just wanted to tell about that. It's just I've been thinking about it in the back of my mind like all day yesterday and today. And yeah, it was amazing. It was priceless. It was a for a very cheap experience or for a very cheap amount of money. The experiences you get out of your money's worth with particularly with LSD is like life changing. It's like some of the most precious memories that you can possibly add to your memory files. So I'm just glad I live in the right fucking time period where Albert Hoffman decided to take up chemistry.